71 in a posted 45-mile-per-hour speed zone. That's how fast we learned this morning Officer Beidel was traveling at the time of that tragic accident back on October 7th. Well, Chris, as far as we know, Las Vegas Fire and Rescue just arrived on scene a couple of minutes ago. We were actually getting ready for the 6:30 show, and then all of a sudden, we just saw a huge plume of black clouds erupt. A company struggling homeowners turn to for help has been shut down by the state. From the time they first arrive on scene, this air rehab unit can be set up within a matter of 10 minutes, containing water, Gatorade, fans, and other equipment to help those firefighters battle the flames of the fire. I actually have two buckets of popcorn, some candy, gummy bears, Whoppers, Milk Duds. If you want to come down, there's still plenty of time. The parade is supposed to last until about 2 o'clock this afternoon, or whenever they're able to get every single one of these 200 entries down 4th Street this afternoon. Gary, Officer Nettleton is being remembered as a warrior by both his Metro officers and his comrades in the Marine Corps. A number of them actually flew here to Las Vegas to pay their final respects to Officer Nettleton. But they say first and foremost, he was a man who not only served himself, but his family. As we mentioned, law enforcement agencies from across the state and the country came to pay their respects to this fallen hero. Officer Nettleton, as we mentioned, was shot and killed in his North Las Vegas home early last Thursday morning during an attempted robbery. 5 people are now charged in connection with his murder, and some friends that we spoke with say Nettleton was not a victim. Instead, they say he was simply accomplishing a mission, that mission to protect his family. Law says that Officer Nettleton loved to play fantasy football. He also says that Officer Nettleton kept in touch with all of his friends from the Marine Corps playing fantasy football, and he says that they would do that every single year. Back live now after his funeral services here at St. Elizabeth and Seton Catholic Church are over. His body will be taken to the Palm Cemetery, not too far from here on North Jones, where he will finally be laid to rest. We are live this afternoon at St. Elizabeth and Seton Catholic Church. Jonathan McCall, 8 News Now. Dave, not a whole lot. We're still working on getting more information for you. Want to give you a look at what's going on right now. Still a very active scene here in the 1100 block of Emerald Stone, which is near Lone Mountain and Ann Street, where we do know a 30-year-old male victim was found dead inside of his home around midnight this morning from an apparent gunshot wound. Some neighbors we've spoken with already this morning reported hearing as many as 5 gunshots in the area around the time police were called out here to the scene. As we mentioned, Metro Police and North Las Vegas Police here on the scene, putting the pieces together, exactly trying to figure out exactly what is going on. They've been out here, as we mentioned, a little after midnight is when they received that phone call here in the 1100 block of Emerald Stone near Lone Mountain. A whole lot of information still unknown at this point. We're expected to get official word from North Las Vegas Police in just a couple of minutes about where the investigation is going and exactly what did happen here earlier this morning. We're live this morning near Donna and Lone Mountain. Jonathan McCall, 8 News Now. As he prepares for his shift.
Okay, we're ready for the day.
Nevada Medic car driver Zach Ratner Miller waits for his first call of the day.
We have a call up to Silver Ridge. It's a rehab that's on Charleston and Torrey Pines.
It's not an emergency, but the call is still critical.
We transport Mr. Dickerson. We're going to put some Christmas music on, okay?
That's because Zach and other AMR drivers are making sure medical patients at Valley Nursing Homes are home for the holidays by offering free rides.
It's joyful for me because I get to take someone home to be with their family, and they get to spend this wonderful holiday with them. Even though that they've been in the hospital or the rehab for a long time, they can go now and spend quality time with their family.
The first stop.
Merry Christmas, Sammy. How are you? We're going to be taking you home, okay? You ready?
Making sure Sammy Dickerson is home for Christmas.
They're happy to be leaving the hospital because of their illness and going home and spending time with their family.
As he's loaded into the van,
gotta wear your seatbelt, Sammy. Okay?
Sammy gives the okay.
It's a lifesaver.
Sammy's father says having the program allows Sammy more time with friends and family and the chance to relax more at home.
Sammy, you're home.
Even with the program, Samuel says he's looking forward to the last ride that brings Sammy home for good.
We always talk about a final recovery and a place where a time when he won't have to be away from family and friends.
Jonathan McCall, 8 News Now. Like many across the valley.
It's not that I don't want to pay, it's just that I'm having a rough time right now.
Johnny Youngblood has fallen on hard times and is currently facing eviction. With no money for an attorney, he plans to fight alone.
Seeing during these times that you can't hire an attorney to actually go in and represent you, that information will be helpful for you to go into court and actually be able to defend yourself.
Starting Monday, legal advice will be available to people representing themselves through a new self-help center at the Regional Justice Center. 8th Judicial Civil Court Judge Elizabeth Gonzalez says civil cases involving foreclosures, payday loans, and evictions are boggling down the courts right now.
We have about 70% of the folks who are appearing in civil matters in justice court, and that's about 130,000 filings a year, who are representing themselves.
With the Regional Justice Center hearing more cases than any other courthouse in the entire country, officials here are hoping that more people will walk into the self-help center to help alleviate an already overloaded court system. The new center will provide access to lawyers, research stations, details on proper filing procedures, and even protocol inside of the courtroom. A mediator will also be on hand to help resolve some lawsuits before they head to trial, giving Johnny Youngblood plenty of ammunition in his fight to keep from being evicted.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people that would be interested also, so yeah, I definitely would be interested in getting the information.
Jonathan McCall, 8 News Now. If you're placing bets on the latest internet craze,
there was a man there who was doing something very inappropriate.
Be prepared to see and hear any and everything with Chat Roulette.
That was really weird.
With the click of a mouse, you're connected to random strangers from all over the world.
Those guys from Italy, Holland, Amsterdam.
And their web cameras instantly beams you images of things you may or may not want to see. As we tried it for ourselves, we quickly learned that nothing, and I mean nothing, is off limits from this website. First, it was the disgusting.
And there's a guy without a shirt on.
To the dumb.
This isn't too bad. 2 guys playing video games.
And even the demented.
This guy needed a human foot to cure AIDS.
It was all found within minutes of being on the site, but the most disturbing image of them all may be the one that greets you as soon as you step up to the table to play.
How can kids as young as 16 have access to those? It's crazy.
That's right, you only have to be 16 years old to play, and for some parents, it's a cause for concern.
How are they checking to make certain that when you're on there, you are 16 and you're not 12, 13, 14 or younger?
We showed mother of 2, Lisa Myers, the website for the first time, and she says it's not something she's willing to gamble on.
It's concerning and it's disgusting to know that, some of those, lewd acts like is going on right now. It just randomly pops up and your child can see that.
And Gary, these questionnaires have been a huge sticking point throughout this entire trial proceeding. This is actually a copy from one of the jury members seated in the trial in which O.J. Simpson was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping last year. Simpson's attorney, Yale Galanter, says the answers simply show why Simpson did not get a fair trial. On Thursday, the Nevada Supreme Court ruled that juror questionnaires in the O.J. Simpson case be made public. But Simpson's defense attorney, Yale Galanter, says some of those jurors who convicted Simpson of armed robbery and kidnapping back in 2008 should have never been part of the trial.
People would say they had preconceived notions about O.J. Simpson, and then they, weren't kicked off the jury. And they should have been.
The 26-page, 116-question report asked potential jurors everything from their employment, hobbies, criminal history, and even their knowledge of Simpson, including question 94, which asked potential jurors if they agreed with the verdict in Simpson's 1994 murder trial in which he was acquitted. According to the questionnaires, 3 seated jurors said they did not agree with the verdict. One juror said, quote, prosecution made key mistakes. Another juror wrote, quote, thinks he did it but wasn't there to hear the case. And a third juror said, quote, disagreed with verdict, saying police and prosecution made errors. Yale Galanter says the decision is a key victory in Simpson's fight for an appeal.
Historically, jury selection process is one of the keys to getting a fair and impartial jury. And obviously, O.J. Simpson came into the courtroom with a lot of baggage. We thought we should have been given a lot more leeway in the jury selection process.
Now today, 8 News Now left several messages with Clark County Judge Jackie Glass, who made the ruling to keep those questionnaires private. We also tried to reach the district attorney's office for comment, but so far, our calls have not been returned. Jonathan McCall, 8 News Now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jonathan McCall. We heard from former Governor Kenny Gwynn's family tonight for the first time since their father died suddenly yesterday morning. Gwynn's two sons and a close friend shared with the public some of their profound grief. They described what the former governor and educator meant to them and so many other Nevadans. 8 News Now reporter Jonathan Martinez was there and has the story. An autopsy was performed on Gwynn this morning, but the results will not be released for a couple of weeks. After the exam, his body was taken to Palm Mortuary. Members of the Metro Police Department and the Nevada Highway Patrol escorted the van carrying his casket. A viewing for Gwynn will be set for Monday night at 7 o'clock at St. Joseph Husband of Mary Catholic Church. That's off of West Sahara and Tenaya. Funeral services will be held in the same church on Tuesday morning, starting at 10 a.m. The family is asking, in lieu of flowers, donations be made to the Kenny Gwynn Memorial Millennium Scholarship Fund. We have the address to send those donations on our website at 8newsnow.com. A company struggling homeowners turn to for help has been shut down by the state after customers started complaining. Now, 4 people who worked at that business are accused of taking money from desperate homeowners and then pocketing it for themselves. 8 News Now is live. Aaron Drawhorn is on Rainbow near the 95 with the state's accusations and the business's response. Now, some drug charges have been also filed against Tracy and Terry Starks because when their home was raided, authorities say they found large amounts of pot. The Attorney General's office encourages the public to check with them or the Better Business Bureau before hiring a business that promises to modify your loan. In other news, the state's foreclosure mediation program is working and helping many people stay in their homes. Foreclosure mediation has been in effect for about a year now, as so far, 43% of those requesting mediation have been able to stay in their homes. About a third of the lenders, though, failed to show up for mediations and were not allowed to move forward with foreclosures. Of the thousands of people who requested mediation, 1,600 were able to save their homes. Some 445 mediations ended with lenders being able to move forward, though, with foreclosures. The Nevada FDIC has yet taken over another Las Vegas bank. The FDIC commissioner says Southwest USA Bank had inadequate capital and mounting loan losses. Customers can still access their accounts over the weekend, though, and beginning on Monday, the bank will be taken over as a branch of Plaza Bank. Customers with questions can still call the FDIC. That number, 866-934-8944. The family of the man shot and killed by Metro officers outside the Summerlin Costco is launching a new effort to find answers. In less than an hour from now, a series of billboards featuring Eric Scott will be lit up around the valley. 7 signs will carry Scott's picture with the message, "Let the truth be known." The billboards are being paid for with donations from supporters. Scott's family and friends say they want to make sure the public does not forget about the case. Those digital billboards will be switched on at midnight in high-traffic areas around southern Nevada. They'll stay lit up for the next month. A coroner's inquest today ruled 6 Henderson officers were justified in shooting and killing a woman after she led them on a crime spree. This was seen back on June 7th as officers were called to a home at the Dragon Ridge Golf Course. Police say Kelly Dupriest and Carlos Pedraza drove onto the golf course, broke into a home, and then stole a car. Officers followed them, and after the couple ignored several commands to get out of that vehicle, officers say Dupriest put the car in reverse and then started driving right at them. 6 officers fired, killing Dupriest and injuring Pedraza.